So we're going to talk about productivity. Um, I am seeing like everywhere on the internet, everyone's talking about how to be productive. You have like LinkedIn gurus trying to like express and share all these little insights and ideas they have to make your life more productive by following this step. And you have YouTubers talking about life hacks, but like the perfect way to make your life like the most efficient and like productive way possible. And honestly, like I'm really like fucking annoyed by it. Like I'm getting like so tired and exhausted from seeing all of these people that are claiming to have all these unique ideas. And so many of them are just like copying themselves, like copying other people and sharing the same type of like thoughts and ideas. Um yeah, I'm just like fed up with it and it's everywhere. And I want to know like how you feel about it. Like do you see this like on the internet a lot?
Yeah, I think of it as hustle culture,
Yeah.
where you always got to be grinding, 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 or else you are not helping the world enough, or you don't have value.
You're just a lazy piece of shit.
Yeah, as a stay-at-home father, this has been something that's like always on my mind. I never felt like I could just be a father. I couldn't sink into that fatherdom
Hmm.
and really try to hone that because a stay-at-home dad doesn't really fit in American culture. It didn't fit in the Christian culture that I grew up in, but I was doing it. But at the same time, I felt like I had to have a career also.
Yeah.
I was always trying to invent things or come up with a website, or I even had 120 rabbits one time trying to sell rabbits.
120?
Yeah.
That's a lot, rabbits. That's
Yep.
like 119 more than you need.
Well, for them to multiply, you might need two.
Oh, that's fair.
But yeah, I had 120 rabbits, 61 chickens, and 500,000 bees or something. I had 5 beehives.
Okay.
Just trying to figure out a way to make money or to build a career or to do something that's more than just being a father. And that does not fit in with hustle culture, just being a father.
Yeah, so because you were a man, being a stay-at-home like father, you were like potentially looked down on. Did you feel better having like these like hobbies or goals or ways to make like income?
I think that the goals made me feel better, but actually having the hobbies, it didn't feel like it was ever enough. I needed to push it way farther than I could have as a father.
So you needed like 500 rabbits.
Probably like 5,000 rabbits.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What life pro tips do you have about raising like rabbits? Do you have any?
Do it inside. I did outside and it crushed me because so many of my little baby rabbits froze to death in the winter.
Aw.
And that was awful. I hated that.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, the mother rabbits didn't make a good enough nest.
Oh,
It's their fault.
that really sucks.
But yeah, I think I tried so hard to find something, and I'm just wondering, was all of this just to feel and look competent?
It's like a social thing. Like you want people to view you in a way versus you doing these things for yourself.
Yes, I absolutely hated the question. So what do you do?
Yeah. Oh man, it's interesting because I feel like I have to stop myself from liking that question. And I think it is because of a place where like with my career of being able to like share, I guess, what I do. But I find myself like trying to like not listen to like my ego in that way, which is like being excited about it because
You know when people ask you, or you want to ask people that question?
well, I got to the point where I wanted people like I got excited for people to ask me that question because I felt like I got to a place in my career that people would like look up to me or respect me in some way. But I don't know if I even like care about that because I don't think what someone's job is really fully reflects who they are as a person. And yeah, so I just find myself trying to stop myself from like thinking that way because I think it's purely ego.
Yeah, your job does not reflect who you are.
Definitely not.
Not at all.
Yeah, what do you mean?
I
by
mean,
that?
I guess you are creating things, but it's not as artistic as I think you would like it to be.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot of data collection, data transformation, writing code, which can be like fun and creative in its own way. But yeah, I'm definitely such a people person that I'm like not around people enough. It's terrible.
Do you think that if that the internet is having a really big impact on this, just being able to compare yourself to so many more people? Is that one of the big problems?
Yeah, I would say that's it is like a symptom of it that we're comparing ourselves enough that we kind of devalue ourselves because of what other people are doing. But I think it's more of like an incentive problem of how culture kind of what is incentivized? Yeah,
Incentivized?
incentivized as being valuable to culture and to like your country or wherever that is. And this is one of the issues that I have with like the hustle culture is all of like the productivity and goals are all focused on making money and or being famous and being like known. And you hear all these like horror stories or not maybe not horror stories but more of like people in those places of like fame and income and power all talk about the same thing, which is doesn't really make them happier. It just it's different. Like there's a point where like I think there's studies showing that like after like to the point where if you make $70,000 a year, you are actually happier. But anything after that actually does not really add any more like happiness to your life. And you see a lot of these like rich famous people like have stated this. If you like look it up, there's so many people being like, yeah, like it was cool when it first like happened, but now like my life just normalized again, and I still am like unhappy or having to find ways to be happy. So I think that's my biggest. I think the biggest issue is we just live in a very much a like consumer focused like world where buying things or like it's so materialistic that you're having to need objects as a way to make yourself happy. You need this like external thing. But a lot of the time, most of the happiness that comes from that is actually just showing people that you have something. And that's just like such an unhealthy thing. Like I find this in myself when I feel inclined to like buy a big purchase of something. Like it's like a car, for example. I'll find myself getting really excited to buy a car, and I'll buy this nice car that I really like, and I get excited that people see me in it. And this is me speaking honestly, even though I know this is like egotistical. But after a while, that feeling just like disappears, like dissipates. And then I'm just looking for like the next thing to find happiness or like get that dopamine release or rush that makes me feel good about myself. But I think through like all spiritual teachings or even like people that are just like self-aware, seems like the commonality of what they're saying is you have to find happiness in yourself, and you can't find that in like material objects. So the fact that our culture, hustle culture, is all about being productive and working towards these things that don't really have been shown not really to lead to happiness, I feel like is just terrible.
When I heard it was some CEO that sold his business for billions of dollars, and then he posted on Twitter months later like how he felt empty inside and said like life was pointless. I found that really scary because I had been aiming towards that type of goal. I wanted to come up with some idea, invent some new thing, and that I would become a billionaire eventually. And whenever I heard that, I was like, oh, fuck. What do I aim at now?
Yeah. Like after you've let that go?
Yes.
Have you come to terms or with that?
No, I still think I'm trying to figure it out. I do think that it needs to come from within inside.
Yeah.
Like I want to belong to myself. And that's something I'm really struggling with right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear actually like dealing with that. If it makes you feel better, I'm still struggling with that, and I do find moments of like being happy and things that make me feel like valuable to myself, outside of needing to like achieve things. And it's actually one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about is the idea of like being productive about things that really matter to you. Like, how do you find what really matters to you? And because like I don't want to like state and make it seem like being productive, like this idea of being productive is a bad thing. It's really not. I believe it's just being misused in the wrong direction. And I think if you, instead of being productive to things that make other people happy or people like appreciate or respect you or like you more, but instead putting your motivation and energy into finding out what you really enjoy, what really brings happiness out you, applying productivity and goals to that is actually an extremely valuable thing. So, do you like what kind of things do you really enjoy that make you like feel good, JT?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this because I was trying to think about how can I rest. But the fun things that I want to do aren't really very restful.
Yeah.
It's like 3D modeling something to solve a problem in my life, or maybe making something with pottery. And that feels like work.
Yeah.
It's my mind is active. So yeah, I've been trying to figure out how to rest, and I don't really know how to do that. And I've wondered if this is why you can't, or why it's difficult for you to relax, because that's not productive.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is because I have a really hard time relaxing or feeling like I can slow down and just do like things that aren't productive in some way. Like I deal with that issue, and maybe that's like a socially pressured thing to feel like you need to be productive and achieving and doing things constantly. But I think for me specifically, I think it's more deep rooted to how I feel about myself, and the things I do. But I still have a really hard time resting or feeling like the things I am doing to rest are bringing some type of value. And I think what's so difficult about that is the effects are so subtle that it's actually really difficult to feel what it's doing for you. Like the example I always use is is the idea of like meditation. I have had amazing experiences meditating. For a long period, I actually like meditated every single day for like almost like up to like an hour and a half for
Wow.
6-7 months. I would just like exercise at work, or after work I would exercise and then just meditate in my car for like that long. And I had like so much happiness, so much joy. But then this is always the issue with me when it comes to like meditation. I feel like that was a really productive side because I was like doing it every day. But when I tried just doing it more like relaxed, where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just like meditate when I need to like feel good. Well, when I'm feeling good, meditating doesn't really feel like it makes like a big difference to me. And so when I meditate, I'm like, oh yeah, that was really nice. But then days will go by and I feel like, you know what, like I don't really need to like meditate. Like I'm still feeling like pretty good. And so then I'll like push it off. And then over time, I always catch myself where I'm like, oh my God, I'm like so anxious right now and I'm not like feeling very good about myself. Holy shit, I need to meditate. And then I'll meditate and I'll have this like, so most of the time I'll have this like profound experience. I'm like, oh my God, I need to be doing this all the time. It feels so good. And I'll do it a couple more times, a few more days in a row. And then I'll be like feeling pretty good again. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't need to meditate again. And so I feel like it's hard to feel like those restful things are valuable if you don't have like the contrast to compare to like how it really will impact you. And so if you're in the mindset that you like don't need it, or you're mentally convinced yourself it's not going to like help you, which sometimes that does that for me with meditation, you're not going to be motivated in some way to actually take the actions or steps to do that thing. And so from my experiences, the things that always are the most restful and helpful for me are the things that feel actually the most difficult for me, which is not doing anything, like slowing my mind down.
I have a really hard time with trying to do something that's fun. Like I still want to be productive. It's like, oh man, okay, what am I going to do? I've got 2 hours. It's got to be really fun. I got to maximize this fun. And the idea of stretching to take care of my body, I think is probably a healthy thing, but that doesn't meet the criteria of fun enough. Or meditation, that definitely, I don't even know where to go meditation wise. I just realized, partly because of my conditioning, that I have a lot of anxiety. I'd seen the symptoms, but I hadn't put them all together and seen that it was my anxiety coming out.
Mm.
What kind of meditation? I mean, I know there's a bunch of different types. Would you recommend for someone like me?
For having anxiety?
Yes.
Yeah, it's such a tough question because everyone's so different, but I think I know you well enough to be able to like recommend something that's helpful for me. And so like the more general type of meditation you hear is like mindfulness, which is just about slowing down your mind and trying not to like think of thoughts. So usually you either have like a mantra or like your breath is kind of like a physical mantra where you're just repeating over and over again this like a very boring thing to get yourself to like not think as quickly or to like attach yourself to thoughts as much. That doesn't always help me all the time. One of the things that helps me the most when I'm having anxiety is being kind to myself, like using meditation as this moment to talk to myself mentally. And I do think that mindfulness you have to do in the beginning for like a few minutes where you're like, okay, you'll have like these polls in your awareness about things you need to do. Oh, I should be doing this. Oh, I need to be take care of the kids in this way. Oh, maybe I need to clean the kitchen up. And that process of going, no, I'm taking time for myself. No, I'm taking time for myself is a good thing. But once you get to the point where you're actually doing that, just talking to yourself and calming yourself down, like actually like talking to your body and like your like yourself and being like, everything's okay. I am enough. I don't need to be perfect. Like those are like the type of things that really help me out. And yeah, so if you're anxious, I would really recommend something like that. And you were kind of mentioning that like those things don't sound fun, like meditation, stretching. I actually completely agree. I'm just getting back into meditation right now, where I'm trying to do like a 30-day challenge with my partner. But in the beginning, man, stretching and meditation, they sound terrible. And the first few times you do them, they actually are not that great. But there is a level of richness that happens the more you practice things, where you start noticing the value or feeling the value from those things that makes you actually like, ooh, this actually does feel kind of good. So like stretching is a really good example of that because it's another thing I'm trying to get back into. And it does not feel good. It hurts. And I'm like, fuck, I'm just like trying to convince myself to sit here for like 15, 30 seconds in this like stretch that doesn't feel very good. And I don't want to. I'm like, well, what's even the point of this? But then doing it for a couple of days, I actually was able to get into a deep stretch and I started noticing my muscles actually relaxing into it. And I'm like, ooh, that sensation actually feels really nice. Like becoming aware of the like that valuable of that like that experience, and it does become more fun. It's like doing yoga is not fun unless you actually know how to do the poses and know actually how to like stretch properly.
I imagine that it's not that fun even if you do know the poses. That's what I'm afraid of.
Oh, well, I mean, but have you got to that point where you're able to experience the good thing from it?
No, not definitely not even close. Because I'm worried that I'm going to look back and say that wasn't fun enough. I wish I had done something more fun.
Oh my God. It is so fun, especially because I know you're getting into like learning how to like dance and like express yourself through dancing. Yoga classes can be so fun if you get into that mindset where you are like holding these like positions and stretches and your like body's feeling really good from it. But then you're also like around other people and you're like doing these gentle, almost like dances with yourself as a way to like be who you are in that moment. Like I never wanted to do yoga until I actually started doing the class and realizing what it was about. Like there's times where you're supposed to look yourself directly in the mirror and just feel nice towards yourself, kind to yourself about what you're doing. You just hold a pose and you just have to like focus on yourself and give yourself love. And like that's such a powerful thing when you're doing a vulnerable pose around other people. And so you maybe just haven't experienced those things.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm now wondering if me not investing in myself in that way makes it seem less valuable. But if I started investing in myself, like I would start changing the story in my mind that this is worth it. I am worth it. My body's worth this time.
Yeah. What is the thing that's like stopping you from feeling that way? Like what in comparison to things that you do see as valuable, what is missing from that?
I guess whenever I imagine the thing that I want to do that's really fun, it's usually, even if I'm at a beginning level or beginner level of it, like snowboarding, I can picture, or I can even look it up on the internet of what it looks like when someone gets really good.
Oh
And
yeah.
that looks really fun.
Yeah.
I want to go to there. That, yeah, please give me more of that. But whenever I think of high level yoga, it looks the same as low level yoga.
Mm. I mean, that makes sense. I think you're lacking noticing what things to look for. And being in person is so much different than watching a video of people doing yoga.
Yeah, I think I've done 2 yoga classes, maybe 3, and I felt judgment, I think, because I didn't have the poses. But the last one that we did together, the person leading the yoga just added 2 words or 3 words at the end of the thing, like where you are today. It wasn't where you are, because
Yeah.
that compares me to the people around me, but it just compares to where you are today. And it's okay if this is this, how far or how deep you can get into this stretch today. But that made me feel a little bit more positive towards yoga, and less like I was going to be judging myself or being judged by the other people for not being flexible, because I am extremely inflexible.
Yeah. Well, do you? I mean, I know you, but I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you like doing things that are like difficult, like to prove to yourself you can?
Yes.
So, what I think is so valuable about something like yoga or meditation too, is you're directly communicating to the root cause of your issues, which is like if you feel like you're worried about people judging you or the way people are viewing you, or you're not able to like do it properly, that is the most perfect environment to actually do it and feel rewarded from it.
Huh.
It's there's this concept, I think it was like Sam Harris who's like used this before, which is like when something has like a there. Have you heard that?
No.
So he uses it like in meditation. I feel like you can use this across other things. So um like the idea of a there is that there's a place that exists that makes you like understand why you want to do something. But then there's this other there, which is just observing what it is, but you don't really understand that there's more to it than that. And so it's one of the reasons why a lot of people aren't interested in meditation, and I wasn't until I had like psychedelic experiences that made me experience deep places of meditation. And I was like, whoa, there is a place that exists that while meditating that would feel super amazing and be really good for me. Well, now that I know inside this thing there is this deeper something or a different place I could go, I have a natural motivation to want to try getting to that place. And so an example would be for like I was describing with yoga. If you haven't really gotten to that place where you've noticed like the positive effects of it, you're not going to be able to understand what that is. But once you've gone like deeper enough to get to that place where you see its value, you understand that there's this other place that exists in this activity and why it's like valuable for yourself. Hopefully that makes sense.
I think so. It's just like I haven't seen behind the curtain. I need to go behind the curtain before I can really know what's behind it. And I've never considered it, because this is yoga resting, because I feel like I'm having to I'm having to work, I'm trying to progress with my stretches or the poses or my mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still resting?
Well, there's so many different types of yoga. There's yin yoga, which is like meditative yoga, which is, I think you hold poses for like 3 to 4 minutes each one. And you're just like slowly just trying to sink deeper into it to just like relax. But then there's hot yoga, which is like what I've done, which is very intense and very fast paced. But the thing that's valuable for it is you're pushing yourself so hard to the very end, which is like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like pronounce this wrong. Anyone that knows yoga is gonna hate me, but like Vinasha, I don't know. But it's this end state where after you're done doing it, that you meditate and you literally just sink into the ground and just don't do anything. And they even like all the teachers I've gone to all describe that that's the thing you're actually trying to work for, is that place of being able to relax. But the whole process of yoga, this is interesting, is almost like the process of meditation, that there's these limits or these gates that exist like emotionally or mentally that you have to work through. And there's a process for that. So when you first go to yoga class, you become self-conscious that there's people around you and you have to learn how to get comfortable with that. Then you have to learn how to get comfortable with your body and being able to relax your body. And then a big part of it, like I was describing, is you have to feel positive towards yourself, like being kind towards yourself. And so all those things are kind of like the same thing I'm describing with the beginning stages of mindfulness when it comes to doing meditation. You're trying to see what type of emotional like reactions exist and working to overcome them, and then you're able to go to a deeper spot. And with yoga, it's the same thing. You're overcoming these emotional obstacles. And at the very end, because you've put off that work doing that, even like the limitation of being like, oh my God, can I even do this because this is so hard? Then you can sink even further into that because that reward is like you've earned it. You've been productive.
Yeah, I was going to say, you keep saying work and have to and try and hard. And that sounds like it's productivity and not very restful.
Well, I mean, this is interesting actually, because I actually had a question about this. Is like, what type of productivity would you see valuable for yourself? Because the idea of doing yoga, like all those things I was describing, are productive towards this goal of solving or like helping with your mental health. And so that type of work is valuable directly to you, not because of anything else. It's you don't need any external thing to make that valuable. It's valuable because you're dealing with these internal issues emotionally, and you're able to at least overcome them a little bit. And then you actually get to earn your rest and have like a deeper state of it.
Yeah, I guess that does seem valuable to me. Emotional development. I feel very dissociated from my body compared to you and other people I've talked to. And so if it helps me get in touch with my body, then that seems really valuable. If it helps me to learn a valuable skill, then that sounds great too.
Let's dig into that. Like, what do you like about like learning a new skill? Like what makes
To be
you focus on
honest,
that?
it's
Yeah.
probably, I want people to see me as competent, see me as skillful.
Mm.
Yeah, to see that I don't know. Yeah, I want people to see me as competent.
I mean, that's a very like honest answer. Do you feel that way about this podcast too?
Yes, I'm definitely nervous about that pretty much all the time I'm speaking.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, and I can see where you're coming from your experience of being a stay-at-home dad who has not like yet really had those opportunities to be able to like get that validation from other people and like socially prove like your worth in some way. I could see like you're missing that. So I mean, maybe there's a chance you actually do need to have those type of experiences to feel like you understand it more. Because coming from a place like a person like me who's been working since I was like 17 full time, and now I'm like my early 30s, it's not like as valuable of like a thing. Like I feel like I want to tell people that like this lesson, like this is not as valuable as it seems. I've been able to buy any type of vehicle that I want to buy. I was able to, because of my job, I was able to buy whatever like fucking super nice truck. I bought like a $50,000 truck once, brand new, because I could. And then that feeling just dissipated. And then I'm like, oh man, well, that sucks. Like I know people personally who are working for decades, their entire life with the dream of buying a vehicle like this. And the fact that I just got this thing and I'm feeling this way now, am I just a piece of shit? I felt that way for a while, but no, I think it's just the process of
That's
doing
funny.
things like that.
I actually gave up on the dream of a dream car.
You did?
Yep. When you have 4 kids and you're going to go camping and you have a bunch of stuff that you take with you, there's only a few cars that work for that. And I realized, oh, that dream car that I want, like I don't even know what I would want anymore. But I had to give up on it.
Was that hard?
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about one of my oldest daughter is about to get her driver's license, and we were thinking about what car to get, and my wife mentioned, "What color would you want?" And I was like, "I literally don't care. This is just a tool, and so I want the thing that gets the job done for as little money as possible."
Yeah.
Yeah, we bought a car that was 3 years old at the time, a minivan, and then I found out this other family in our church had bought a minivan, but they had bought one that's 10 years older, and it was like literally a sixth of the cost of ours. And I was like, oh man, maybe we should have done that. Because it gets them around. It carries all their stuff.
Yeah.
I was probably in the middle of wanting it to be a status thing at that point. But now I look at it and just like, I want to save money, and the kids are going to leave their kid dust, is what I call it, all over the car anyway. So yeah, I just want to get the thing that is like a tool.
Well, I mean, it seems like you've kind of learned that like lesson just through like that experience, that the value of the thing is the actual what it does, not like how it's like perceived or how people view it, you know?
Yeah, the one of the cars we got came with a dent, and I was a little annoyed at it first, but then I realized I really liked that dent, because when the second dent happened, or the kids scraping their handlebar along the side of the door, I was like, oh, it wasn't perfect to begin with, so it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I find it very sad where people are so obsessed about like physical material objects that they like become unhappy because they're just trying to protect it and like keep it like as safe as possible. With like vehicles specifically, though, I know there's so many people that are like so like probably so stressed and so anxious because they're trying to like maintain and keep this physical thing perfect, but they don't even like really use it for what it's for. And that just seems like a waste.
Yeah, we were given this beautiful hourglass with black sand in it, and I immediately hated it because I had to care about it. I felt like I had to protect it. And then one of the kids threw something and it hit this hourglass and it broke. And I was so relieved. I was like, oh my God, thank God this thing is out of our house. Because it added stress that I did not find worth it.
So going back to like to productivity and like achieving goals or like what that looks like, how do you choose like what to be productive with? Is it still just that social validation in some way, or is there like anything more to that?
I think since I started therapy, that there's like a new goal that of developing myself, developing my emotions, my mental health. That is something that I feel like is worth being productive in.
So what do you think is like the benefit of being productive? Like I feel like we've talked about like the things you're focusing on really matter about what you're trying to be productive for, and that productivity could be just used as like this framework or tool to like achieve things, but whatever you're swapping in and out of like that productivity lens is like the more valuable thing. So like, I mean, but what do you think? Do you think there's value in being productive with like that framework? Like, do you have experiences where you've been productive and you've seen like really good results that like changed your life?
I'm not sure I've seen that. I think it might be from being a stay-at-home father where I don't have a measure. I've wished I could compare my kids to other kids and know what I've done, but it feels like my investment is a blind investment where I won't know how well I've done until my kids are grown. And honestly, what I'm looking for is to see how close of a friend I am to them. That feels like one of my big goals. So I've been pushing them and guiding them and mentoring them, all in the hopes of being their friend. I just told my son the other day that I'm tired of being his authority figure. I don't want to boss him around anymore. I really want to transition to just being his friend and mentor. And it's interesting because the next day I found him cleaning up something without even being asked to do it. I kind of felt bad because I wished I had said that a long time ago.
Mm. Yeah. Do you feel like he was feeling a lot of pressure from that of you being his authority figure?
The pressure on myself.
No, your son.
Oh, I guess he probably just thought that this is how it is. I don't know if he felt it as pressure. Um,
If he was like extremely emotionally intelligent, like self-aware, where he is like able to find the root cause, do you feel like a part of that would be like you being an authority figure for him?
I don't understand that question.
So like if your son was like an adult and he was able to self-reflect on this like experience of you being this person who's having to like kind of help dictate and give him like direction, kind of maybe being stern with him in this way, do you think he would be able to be self-aware enough to see that it was impacting him maybe more negatively than he was thinking?
You mean me being an authority figure rather than a friend and mentor?
Yes.
I don't know. I guess I was trying to figure this out. Do kids need an authority figure? And then at some point you can switch to friend and mentor? Or can you be friend and mentor from the very beginning?
Mm,
Because it feels like they need consequences,
yeah.
but that kind of comes from a authority figure position.
Yeah, I guess it would depend on like what your definition of like authority figure is. Is it just like giving them rules that like giving like the pretty much laws that they have to like abide by?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I try to think of it as setting boundaries now. Like if this doesn't happen, then this is just automatically going to happen.
Mm,
Being able to just point to the consequence, that's been really nice rather than I need to lecture.
okay.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. If I don't need to lecture, that's what the authority figure does. They lecture and lecture and lecture, and
Yeah.
over time, his eyes just kind of glaze over, and he can't hear anymore.
Yeah.
But if I can just point to the consequence, and I don't know, maybe comfort him later about it, that
So,
feels like the friend mentor angle.
yeah, so less micromanaging and more of just like you're kind of detached from his choice.
Yeah,
You're not trying to
it's
pressure him into a choice. You're letting him make that choice, and then there's just consequences.
yeah, it's like you made this choice that it takes you down the consequence path. Let me comfort you about that and maybe help you to go a different way the next time.
Yeah, having to come to like get advice from you about like why what could I have done differently that would not have led to this?
Yeah, Dad, I really want to avoid the consequence next time. Help me.
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, that sounds like a lot of pressure on both of you guys. One, you having to like you're being so like focused on the things that they're doing, and like which probably you can be it would probably be really annoying for you if they're like not actually doing them, but being able to remove yourself from that and just only like not have to put as much energy or effort into like helping them figure out or like make the right choices, but then just at the end, and for him, I mean, I hate being micromanaged. Like, if someone's watching over my shoulders and is like aware of things that I'm doing, I have such a hard time with that, and I'll just build so much resentment. So maybe the reason why I'm asking if like I guess if he would have like a negative emotional reaction, or maybe that's why he's like emotionally burnt out on not choosing to do those things because of being like knowing you're observing him so much. I don't know. I'm not saying that's like the situation, but I can see from my like self that it would be like a burden taken off my shoulders to be able to just like be able to make that choice for myself, and whether the consequences happen or not.
You make the choice of not doing the thing and you get the consequence anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, I do feel like it is pressure on myself to try to push them and guide them. Whenever people get out of college or high school, if they're not going to go to college, a lot of times they feel lost and they don't know where to go. And each step looks like a gigantic step.
Mm,
And so I feel like I can give my kids this gift of seeing where they are and giving them that 105% increase in difficulty so that they can step up and step up and step up. But it doesn't feel impossible. It doesn't feel like a gigantic step. That's probably a pressure that maybe I could relieve on myself a little bit. But it feels
Definitely.
like such a gift to give them.
I mean, I would say like just my experiences with managers that give me a lot of freedom, and are able to observe those things still and still make the choices of when it like is really impactful. But I've also had managers that are just were trying to do things like that for me constantly. And it always made me feel like I was doing something wrong because like almost like that person knew better than me. And I'm like, I don't get to make experience that for myself to like
Hmm.
figure that out. And yeah, every type of manager I had like that, I end up resenting them and like did not want to be around them and actually would rebel and not do the things they wanted because of that. Um, and I guarantee, like, I mean, I've had to manage someone, and my mind started going towards like micromanaging and being like, I know this person's doing like a shitty job right now, and if I observe that so much, I was so stressed at being like, oh my gosh, I gotta constantly just like fix the things this person's doing and like pay attention to what they're doing because I feel like they're just like wasting time and doing these things. And I'm like, whoa, this doesn't. I don't want to be that person that other people were to me because I know how that feels. Um, but what I can do at a high level of just literally make consequences of being like, I'm like, if something bad's gonna happen, I'm gonna blame this person because I gave all the direction. I would give very in depth direction, but then let them make that choice for themselves. And it took a lot of stress off of me. So I can see that being a big relief.
But if they didn't perform like they were expected, doesn't that reflect on to you and to your boss?
Well, no, I mean, definitely, but it was, I would still have like safeguards on for myself. Like it would be like, it's almost like I was creating a contained environment to let this person fuck up. But then before anything, I mean, like, so programming, before anything would be released to production, that's when I would like review it and be like, oh, you're not doing this stuff right. You got to do this. And like, actually like be annoyed by it. And he'd be like, oh shit. Dude. Like he would actually have like a reaction from it. And then it's like up to him to do that again. So there was never situations where things were like released where it was directly going to be like reflect on letting this person make that choice. But giving them that environment to still fuck up, I feel like was really valuable.
In thinking about this episode and trying to be productive or the idea of productivity debt, I realized that my favorite Bible verse when I was a Christian has kind of to do with this episode.
Oh, really? What is that?
It was from James. It said something like, to whosoever knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. So if I can think of a good thing for my kids, I got to do it. Otherwise, I'm sinning. But I can think of unlimited things to do.
Yeah.
And I have limited time and energy to do them. And so I had created this gap of guilt or shame where I really never could be happy with myself.
Because you felt like you weren't doing a good enough job?
Because there was a better job that I could do.
Yeah.
Like I was already doing a good job, but it could be better. I could teach them this new thing. Yeah, that really kind of fucked me up.
Do you still deal with that now?
Yeah. I've got this idea that whenever you become aware of a problem, you then are responsible for it.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before, where the classic example is I'm in a grocery store and I pull my cart over to the side when I'm checking my list, but there's so many people that seem to just stop right in the middle of the aisle blocking it. And I feel that it's rude and inconsiderate.
Mm-hmm.
And so it seems, I don't know, wrong. I'm not sure the word to use anymore, but they're maybe ignorant. And so it's fine because it's like a child pushing the little cart at Trader Joe's. Everyone's like, oh, they're just a little kid. They don't know.
Yeah.
But whenever you become aware of it, then I feel like there's a responsibility. But there's a problem there. I can't put my finger on what it is, but I've got way too much responsibility because I can be aware of so many different things.
Yeah. I completely relate. I have the exact same problem. And I think it has to do with being a perfectionist. And if you're the combination of a person who can be very like motivated and productive while being a perfectionist, I think that's just like leads to like mental health disaster. because especially if you're able to like, you're always able to know of where you could get and how you can do better. And you have like, you're pushing yourself really hard to like achieve and do these things and staying productive and like paying attention to it over time. You're going to get burnt out, and you're going to have like, you're not going to allow yourself to like rest enough because you feel like there's so many things you could be doing to do that. And I think that's a big problem of mine.
And I realize I'm building up resentment towards the other people that aren't obeying this hidden rule.
Yeah. You're looking
also.
down on them.
Yeah. And like it creates disconnection and separation from the people around me. And I don't like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like being confident and being pretentious is a difficult balance to like find between. Because the moment you start looking at yourself over other people, especially if you're like able to be very productive and efficient and like do things fast and maybe better than other people, I don't know.
I heard a good question to ask whenever you're feeling judgmental is, if I didn't make this judgment, what feeling would I feel? Or what feeling am I avoiding by making this judgment? And I think that I really just don't want people to think I'm rude. If we're going to the grocery store example.
Okay.
I guess I think it's just people pleasing of not wanting anyone to ever be angry with me.
Yeah. And so instead of speaking up to that person, being like, hey, would you mind like moving out of the way, that you're like holding that inside?
Yes.
Oh man, we're very similar in this way.
I remember my therapist saying, oh, I sense that you're angry with me. I'm okay with that. And I was like, what? It doesn't seem like it's okay for someone to be angry with you. But now I realize that that's not true. It is okay.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel about anger? Like, are you good with anger?
I'm an expert at anger.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of anger?
I mean, towards my kids, I definitely was very angry as a early father. Lots of yelling and screaming and using fear just to get my way or to try to get them to have good behavior.
But you feel, so have you kind of like flopped to the other side of just like controlling your anger really well?
Flop sounds really strong. I'm definitely moving away from anger and more towards that friend and mentor of coming alongside them and trying to identify with them and understand where they are and just let them identify and understand where I am. Trying to use the I feel when you model. Yeah.
But do you still have like a use case for anger? Do you still use anger like in a healthy way? I'm curious because I have my own thoughts on anger because I'm too good at holding anger inside.
I guess the use case for anger is something needs to change. And maybe I need to, instead of using it to express rage, I should be curious about what I'm angry about and what the solution could be. Mm-hmm. Because, I think it is a useful tool, but it depends on how you express it.
Yeah, I would agree. I feel like most emotions, there's like a spectrum, and I feel like anger, there's a spectrum where. So like for instance, I've met a lot of people and seen a lot of people that when anger like fills up to this like extreme side, it ends up like pouring out on other people, where a person's taking their anger out on someone and like looking down on them and being like, why the fuck are you doing this? Like annoyed with them. But then there's the other side of having no anger at all, where you don't know how to stand up for yourself. And that's like the problem that I've had. And almost like what brought this up was you talking about like the grocery cart situation, because the thing, if I am feeling angry, I would choose, instead of outwardly letting that out in some way, I would hold it in towards myself and like just like bubble it inside, and I'd start feeling like angry towards like myself. And one of the things that I realized with like through therapy, that whenever I'm angry, like I have to kind of trust myself on what I'm going to do with anger, because I'm so concerned that I'm going to just be like an asshole or be super rude and explode on someone. But the moments I actually get angry are actually moments that I feel really good, like about myself. And it's usually, I've noticed, whenever I'm getting angry, it's actually because I'm defending myself. Like I naturally use anger as a way to defend myself, which is in a way giving myself love, of being like, I view myself valuable enough that I am going to outwardly defend myself. And so I think I've met other people like our friend Heath. I've talked to him about this stuff, and he feels the exact same way, where he doesn't know how to be outwardly angry, and I don't know. It just changed my whole like perspective on using anger as a way to defend yourself is actually a really good thing. But the moment it starts tipping over, where it starts being directed towards people specifically, is like when it's like more toxic, I would say.
Yeah, when I think about the times I've been angry, I don't think I was slow enough to think, and so it would just come out explosively. And I guess I thought other people were responsible for my anger, and that
Yeah.
they needed to do something to fix it.
So you would kind of put on other people.
Yeah.
What have you done that's like, since we're talking about this, like that's like helped you learn how to like kind of control it better?
Going slower. I don't know if you feel this way, but I walk around everywhere really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some kind of time keeper looking over my shoulder saying, you're not being efficient
Yeah.
and you better hurry so that you can do that other thing, so you can rest, so you can have more fun. And I think that came even when I feel an emotion, I just express what I feel right away. And that's sometimes like an underdeveloped part of me that's speaking. And if I go slower and think, I can think about their perspective, I can think about my perspective, take a few moments, breathe.
Yeah.
Like really, literally just breathing has been really helpful for me. And then I'm able to, I guess, look at them with love and say they didn't know, or they know something better than I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if that answers your question.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it does. Do you feel angry at yourself a lot?
I guess I think I feel disappointed in myself more than angry. Just, oh, you could have done better. You could have been more efficient with that time.
How does that make you feel when you like feel that disappointment towards yourself?
It feels disconnecting and lonely.
I'm really sorry you like deal with that, guys. Like, I feel like I like this like mental idea of trying to like view ourselves as like kids, and usually if you could like hypothetically think of yourself as a kid and having a parent like say the thing you needed to hear, is like a really valuable thing. And to me it just sounds like you just didn't have enough people telling you that you're doing a good enough job.
Hmm.
And that it's okay. It's like you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do this like amazing. That you're doing you're doing really good. You know what? Maybe I'll like take that approach with you right now, because I really do feel that way. Like you have such like strong, like intelligent children. Like you are such a good parent to them. I'm not just like saying this like I really mean that. Like I can tell you've worked so hard and you have done such amazing things to them. I know you might not feel like you've done it perfectly, but you've done so good with them. And I know for a fact that you've helped them build such a strong foundation that even if you just stopped now, I think they would still do amazing things and be amazing children. And that is a direct reflection of your effort and your work and you being a good dad. And even all the things that you like create, you're such like a crafty person. You make so many, like you build so many things and you find solutions, and you are so kind and like helpful for people in conversations, where you do a really good job just being empathetic and paying attention to them, and trying to help them in small ways. Like there's nothing to be disappointed in yourself about, man. Like if you are able to take all those things as a whole, you should never feel disappointed, because you've already done enough. Like this might be hard to accept, but
This is hard to accept.
Yeah, you in this moment right now are good enough. Like you,
I don't even understand this concept.
of being enough.
Yes. It feels like, because if you just do a bunch of being and you're not doing a bunch of doing,
Yeah.
then what value are you to the world?
Yeah.
And so I want to figure out how to draw the line. Where is the line in the middle of the right amount of just being and the right amount of doing?
Yeah.
And it feels like that's where good enough is hidden.
I completely agree with that. Like the reason why I'm like saying these things like so like passionately and strongly towards you is because actually it's the exact same issues that I have. Like I never feel like I am doing enough, and I feel like I've never like achieved something like valuable, and I feel like I lie to myself trying to do these things, like trying to become really good at something as a way to like hide from the fact that I'm like, no, I want that feedback from other people to be like, Lane, you're doing enough. Like you are good enough. And it is hard because if you are like a productive person and you're like efficient and you're self-aware, like very strongly self-aware, you could always know like what you could be doing instead. Like it'd be really hard for me to just like have like a lazy day or lazy days and just like watch TV and not do anything because I know all these other things that like realistically I could do and do a good job at and add value to like the world in some way. I can cook a really good dinner for people and like they would like that. Like that sounds more exciting than sitting here doing nothing. But if you do that all the time, if you're constantly just doing things one after another for other people, you stop like doing things for yourself. And I think this ties into like what you were describing about like rest of like resting with your like doing things that actually like heal you or make you feel rested or like able to slow down is like good for you, and you need that balance 100% if you're this person like a ultra productive type style person. And I think you're right that like being able to say I've done enough, like I think is such like a hard thing. Like do you have days where you feel like you have done enough things?
Yes, but I'm completely exhausted. I think that's kind of what tells me if I've done enough, that I'm spent. I, I like look at my day here. I did this and I did this and then I did this and then this huge chunk of the time was filled with this. So literally I couldn't have done anything else. That's when I feel like I've accomplished the day.
Wow. So when you've maxed out.
Yeah, and going back to the kids thing, there are ways that I fucked up my kids by yelling at them and screaming at them, and we used to spank. And I've realized that those were inefficient, wrong, maybe, fucking them up. And so I'm scared that there are other things that I just don't know. And so I feel like that timekeeper over my shoulder is saying, you have to grow yourself. You have to figure out your emotional and mental health, because you will probably find a whole bunch of ways that you're still fucking up your kids, and you better hurry because they're not going to be kids much longer. And if you don't, then how they're going to go bankrupt from all the therapy bills.
I think I understand where you're coming from on that, but do you ever remember that you're like a human being, that you are like a human, and that humans make mistakes? How do you feel about your parental like style and all this work and being productive and learning about yourself so you can like share that with them as like a coach and like teacher? How much better do you feel like you've done compared to your parents?
Just being willing to reconsider my parenting style is a huge gift that I've given to my kids. That's what I'm most frustrated by. I know my parents were trying, but they wouldn't try anything else.
Mm-hmm.
They just kept bashing their head against the same wall. And because they were only looking for advice from one group of people. And so I do feel that I'm doing way better, but I still feel like an even better is available.
Yeah.
And I just don't even know what it is yet.
How often do you do the flip side of being productive with your kids? Like how often do you rest with them? Like be not I don't want to say like lazy, but just like chill with them and do like fun things in that way.
I mean, usually we try to have dinner together most nights, and it's great. They're really comfortable talking to me and they tell me about their day, and it's really fun. In fact, this is my technically second podcast, because while Lydia's been deployed, I record our dinner time conversation and upload it for her to listen to.
Oh,
And it's really good. The kids, at first they were kind of just telling me, but now I've noticed that they will tell each other stories because they know that each other will find it interesting.
yeah.
Um, we watch television shows together,
How often do you do that?
probably 4 nights a week,
Okay.
something like that.
And in those times where you're doing that, do you feel like relaxed? Like, do you feel like you've stepped out of like that efficiency scheduling part of yourself?
No, the show that we're watching right now is Game of Thrones, and that's a pretty heavy show, especially for kids.
Yeah.
But I actually, one of the reasons I want to watch it is because I feel like there's so many good topics to talk about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It brings up such good discussions surrounding honor and loyalty and oaths and promises and right and wrong. And it brings up a lot of good conversations. And so
Yeah. I mean, I understand. Yeah, I get that. And I think that's cool. But like, do you find like if you look at yourself as you're watching it, do you feel like you're just analyzing it as a way to like you're still like being efficient while you're watching the show? You're trying to like learn something from it?
yeah.
Is there nothing that you do like besides naps? Because I know you take naps that you do.
The nap is for productivity as well,
Holy shit.
because I know that I'll be more productive after the nap.
Okay, so you're like this encapsulation of like every type of like life hack, productivity, scheduling, efficiency, like processes in one person. Like you feel like you're like trying to embody all those at once.
Yes, this is what I'm saying about I don't know how to feel like I'm done for the day. Like, when is a father done for the day?
When do you want to be done for the day?
Like, I was going to say at 11 a.m., but I feel guilty about that.
Yeah, that sounds like early wine drinking mom territory. But like, so you don't have any like activities where there. I mean, I guess this is like interesting because I guess hypothetically, are there any types of things or actions or things people would do that wouldn't like have a goal in mind? Like, because I mean, I've been like speaking about doing yoga and meditation, but there still is a goal like hidden in there, which is like make you a happier person. But I guess, yeah, do you think doing all these things is making you happy, or do you still feel like pretty unhappy?
I do think I am happy overall, but I guess I think I like this idea of being a treasure hunter, where I can find a lesson in anything from any
Okay.
conversation. I remember going to the gym one time, and these two gym bros came up next to me, and I was doing something in front of the mirror, and they stepped up to the mirror and they took their shirts off, and I'm like, what's about to happen here? And they just started posing with their muscles in front of the mirror, and I was like, oh my God, this is so vain. But I kept thinking about that for like several days, and I realized that they had put in effort, and so they were just kind of like giving a status update, maybe being proud of themselves.
Mm.
And that was something that I hadn't let myself do. So I'm like always looking for lessons everywhere. And so there, yeah, even in the boring moments, I feel like I'm trying to get productivity out of it.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, so do you feel like people are like, I guess, what kind of categories of actions or things people can do that would not be productive? Like, what do you see as like non-productive that you could still see as like a valuable thing?
I'm having a hard time coming up with anything, because like I was talking about 3D modeling something. That's sometimes it's really fun for me, but I'm producing something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess vegging out to a television show or a movie, maybe.
Okay. How often do you do that? Like to something where you're not like trying to pay attention to it for the sake of like learning something from it. Like, do you ever watch things just for the emotional experience of it? Like this makes me feel good.
No, even when I'm watching television shows, it's usually at my computer where it's on one of the screens, and then I'm doing something else on the other screen.
So you're multitasking.
Yeah.
Watching. So you're not really watching it. Do you think there's value in like half-assing things, like multitasking?
Oh, I hate that idea, half-assing things.
Like the idea that that's a thing, or that like people that do that.
I don't want to half-ass things.
Okay.
I guess I'm half-assing watching a television show, though.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like 100% you are.
But it just seems like a not productive enough thing, and so it deserves just half an ass.
Okay, dude, it sounds like you need to like at least set like an hour a day. Maybe it would. Maybe you need to do something that does not like that you don't believe is productive.
Can you give me some suggestions on what of things?
I think you should like fucking meditate, or maybe even do yoga. I know I already brought these ones up,
but those feel like productive.
Yeah, but you were kind of like saying that you don't really feel like they'd be productive for you. Like they would.
I guess I believe you that it would eventually be productive.
But you don't believe right now that's a productive thing.
No, I mean, I think I would. No, I think I would care more about myself because I'm just investing more time into just my mind or just my body.
Okay, so maybe, yeah, because it sounds like from this conversation that we're kind of like describing that like almost like being productive is a good thing, like in whatever way that is, but it's almost like it can kind of become out of whack if you're doing it for external goals versus like internal goals for other people or for yourself. Would you think that's like fair to say?
Yeah.
So what do you have any activities that you're doing as like an internal goal, like doing this for yourself only and no one else?
I guess I think pottery is the closest thing to that because it is soothing and I don't think I'm going to make a living from it. So maybe that, but I haven't done that in 3 months.
Yeah. But if you're making pottery, are you excited about giving them to people or like showing people what you've made?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
See, there's nothing. I can't do anything just for fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need like some type of outlet that is focused towards yourself, but also as something to work on of like as you're doing it, reminding yourself you're doing it for yourself. And I would actually, I feel if you want like my honest opinion, I would say meditation would be 100% probably the better one to do. It's going to be a lot probably slower progress, or maybe less interesting, less physical, which maybe is a good thing for you because you're like a very physically active person. But if what's valuable about doing the yoga from my experience is I would start noticing that when I got good at it, I would start comparing myself to other people. Like it became less about me and more of like, oh my God, I got good enough where I was doing some like super deep stretches and like I was like comparing myself to like the better people in the class as I was doing it. And I was like, holy shit, what I'm doing right here in this moment is like my ego's coming out. I'm starting to compare myself and I'm doing this for the wrong reason. And then I would have to like really focus on the whole experience to just be about me. And so I think meditation will naturally lead to that type of experience. But if you want to maybe like learn or have like an experience where you're trying to overcome that feeling more directly of why you're doing that, I would say like yoga would probably be the better thing for it.
Okay. I will especially consider meditation.
Okay.
Maybe yoga. Yoga's expensive.
That's true. Yeah. Meditation's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you should do it 100%.
I think one idea that's pushed me towards productivity is that I know there are people that have 3 jobs. They have chronic back pain. They maybe have as many kids as I do. And they are a single parent.
Okay.
They don't really get to rest. And so I feel that my place of privilege privilege is keeping me from feeling like I can rest.
Mm.
It's almost like compassion for others is kind of turned into cruelty for myself.
Because you feel bad for what you're able to do.
Yeah. I guess the idea is that I feel that rest is deserved for people that have suffered enough.
Okay. Like you've earned it.
Yes. It's
Okay.
why I can rest whenever I'm completely exhausted, and I can look back and see every bit of my day was filled.
Yeah. Because you earned that rest.
Yeah.
Which might not be like a terribly bad thing. Like I mean, I feel that same way. Like I feel like when I've done enough, I actually feel really good about myself, and I'm able to like, oh yeah, that's enough. I don't really need to do more. Like I've earned to be able to just like kind of be lazy for a bit, but I don't know how like true that is, or like if that's healthy for me to have like to that extent being like the gatekeeper for me resting.
Yeah. Do you think that can happen before 5 p.m. or 2 p.m.?
I think it'd be really hard for me, but it probably would be a good thing for me, honestly, to actually like rest. Um, but it depends on like what you think rest is. Like that's why I'm curious. Like what are the type of things you do that's resting? Because I know there's a lot of issues with people using technology, and as they're resting, like they're thinking about like there's two different types of resting. There's mental resting and then physical resting. And a lot of people don't allow themselves to mentally rest because they're like, "Oh, I'm so like tired. I need to like rest." And they'll like lay down. But then they'll just be using their phone, and in their while they're whatever they're looking at on their phone is just stimulating your fucking mind. And so you're still thinking, and you're never really giving yourself a mental rest, which is the part that like is like so helpful, I would say.
Yeah. I've noticed that I have a hard time listening to podcasts just sitting and doing nothing. Like I almost can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to have some kind of physical activity, running or cleaning something like vacuuming or folding laundry. That's when I can pay attention to a pod or allow myself to listen to a podcast, because just sitting and doing that, well, there's these other things that need to be done.
Yeah.
I realize I'm like, I got this idea where I don't want to fuck tomorrow me. So I want to get things done so that tomorrow me can have less to do. But I can't give tomorrow me rest. Like I can't rest today for tomorrow me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah. So you're literally future scheduling. Like you're being so efficient, you're future like guiding yourself in some way.
Yeah, I'm always thinking about tomorrow me, but present me is kind of unconsidered.
Oh my God. Wow. I mean, I feel like the way you like describe that makes a lot of sense. Like I kind of had like this question I wanted to ask too, which is like I'm gonna literally read this like word for word because I want you to like know. Do you find more value in who you are or what you accomplish? And I think that ties into this because if you're only focusing about making sure like you're taking care of only the future self so your future self can do and achieve the things it wants, you are like not actually like finding value in yourself for who you are right now. You're not validating your own experience in this moment.
Yeah, I feel that I'm an N of one, where I know almost no other stay-at-home fathers, and so I've definitely felt unacceptable for who I am.
Do you believe that though? You're gonna give as honest answers as you want.
I guess I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't
Okay.
change what I've done, but I really want that outside validation, and it's not there.
Hmm.
Some people say they like my kids, but maybe they say that about other kids too.
I mean, I haven't had many, like, maybe this will make you feel better about that, but I haven't really seen like kids. I haven't really seen like a group of kids that are like, that get so many compliments about how they act and how they present themselves from multiple different types of people. Your kids are like, I guess the only other thing I could think of is just like a lot of people said that about like my siblings a lot to
Hmm.
my mom. And she didn't feel like she ever did a good enough job. She still feels like she didn't do a good enough job, and it still like really hurts her. Um, but maybe it's helpful for me speaking from, because you homeschooled your kids. I was homeschooled, and looking back, there was a lot of, to my parents and maybe some of their unhealthy parenting style. I was hurt like emotionally by a lot of those things and still have like issues from them. But I actually wouldn't change any of those experiences because they've made me who I am and I've learned so much from them. And I think that might be helpful for you to just keep that in mind about your kids,
Hmm.
because I think your kids are capable enough to make smart choices. And I think that's like the most valuable thing, is that it's less of like maybe how they feel now, but I guarantee they're going to be really good at like self-managing and like understanding themselves. And that's all thanks to you planting seeds leading to that trajectory. And no human being is perfect besides our Lord and Savior.
Yeah, something I've thought about, maybe it's from doing the negative visualization of missing or wanting the things you already have. But I've thought, if I was dying and I had one sentence to say to my kids, what would it be?
Oh my God.
And my mind goes to never stop learning, or
Really?
love learning, or something like that. And I think that, I guess I wish it was something about, I love you as you are, but it almost feels like I'm saying, keep going, you'll get there, or something.
Don't stop. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like we definitely have different things I feel like we'd say. Like I was thinking about mine, and it also is leading me to think, I'm like, holy shit, I think this is the thing I would say is the thing that I need to hear. Which is like, everything is going to be okay. And I don't feel that way at all. Like most of my life, I don't feel like everything's okay. I feel like something's wrong, or I need to be doing something. I need to achieve something, need to prove myself in some way. But just like, yeah, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. It's like, that's not going to really make a difference. But everything's still going to be like, okay.
How much productivity do you need to produce for everything to be okay?
That's is interesting, because I think I know this about myself. I've just been like fighting it too hard because it's like very boring and lazy, or not lazy. It's very boring and just doesn't seem like interesting or fun. But taking care of myself emotionally more. Like, I think when I do that, I feel so much better about myself. Like if I meditate, I feel like maybe this episode's not even about productivity. It's about like me trying to persuade you into like meditating. But when I meditate, like if you get really good at meditating, you can get to the point where you feel like nothing matters and you're okay with that. You're just like, wow, I am just like so happy to just be here with myself right now, and with whatever is happening around me. But it takes a lot of work to get there. It's almost like,
It takes a lot of productivity to get to where you don't care about productivity.
yeah, well, it takes a lot of like, yeah, discipline. Like, yeah, like being productive. Actually, I don't know if it's productive. It's more of like scheduling, which I guess is like productive. Yeah, I guess like what even is like the definition of productivity?
Well, in meditation, it's getting to the place where I can accept myself and just be happy.
Is that like productive though, or I guess, yeah, it would be. It would be working towards that thing to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think my issue, and the reason I don't feel good, is because I am not being productive about the things that really matter to me. And what I've learned through like a lot of like my experiences is the thing that matters the most is my like how I feel towards myself. 100%.
So right now, you feel good enough.
No, but I'm getting there. And that gives me hope. And that makes me feel better.
But you think I'm good enough.
Yeah, well, I think you have to I don't think the reason I'm saying that is to give you motivation to start like doing that internal digging yourself to feel that way. I'm not saying that in a sense of like that's factual or that's like true. Um, and it's like it's almost like if being good enough is like this like center like in your chest or heart, and every time you're trying to get there, you're like puncturing just a little bit of distance towards it. You're like getting a little bit closer, and there are times where I'm really motivated. I'm like a fucking sperm going toward an egg. I'm like like stabbing into me, trying to get to that place of feeling that way about myself. But the more like I meditate, like the closer I can get there and the longer it takes for me to come back out of it. And so I don't feel good enough, but I feel like I'm getting closer to feeling that way. And that gives me a sense of relief.
But if a therapist was here and I said, is Lane good enough? I think the therapist would say he's good enough.
Like objectively.
Yes.
Yeah.
How far back could we go in your life and the therapist would still say Lane's good enough?
I mean, all of them.
All the way back until you were a child.
Yeah. I mean, I would say so because like at someone's like emotional core, they are good enough. Like the part that you can't change about something, about someone is good enough no matter what it's doing.
That's the part I want to understand. Like what does good enough mean? What makes someone good enough?
It means you are like, you deserve to be happy despite what it is that you've like done. Like you deserve to be content and happy with who you are in this moment despite anything else. And I think that's true.
Yeah, I guess I think I agree with that. I've never heard it said like that. That it's like the freedom to be happy with yourself.
Yes. And the thing that I am like have been like realizing as I've like done meditation and I always like forget this lesson and like relearn it again is like the closer I get to feeling like I'm good enough, the easier everything else is around me. And it's almost like being good enough doesn't really remove being productive or stopping myself from doing the things I want to do or striving to do those things. I've had so many experiences where I'm so content with myself, but like the boundaries or the pressure is removed to achieve those things. And it makes it much easier for me to like navigate or guide myself to the things I really care about and really want to do. And that's, I think, even more valuable than being productive and trying to like forcefully try all these things to figure out what that is.
This reminds me of that analogy where you plant an acorn and it turns into a little tiny seedling and you're not going to yell at it for not producing fruit.
Yeah.
Because it's where it is. And it's good where it is. But the question I have is, well, what if it stops growing? Is it still good enough? Does it still have innate value? Or is the constant growth part of what makes the sapling good enough?
Well, I think it would have to be on the sapling to decide if it wants to compare itself. It doesn't have to choose to do that. It shouldn't feel pressured to compare itself. Just like it's almost like us. We all have such different bodies, and we all look so different. Should we blame ourselves for being born into a body we couldn't really choose? Would you blame yourself for that?
No.
So I would say it's the same thing. It's the comparison against other things that makes us feel insecure. But if you're secure with yourself, it doesn't fucking matter what else is happening around you. And if someone is able to like, let's say someone is born and they're like categorized as the most like ugly person in the world. Okay. Like the most like absolutely ugly person in the world. But from the moment they're born to the moment they die, they are the most like, they've had the most happy, like objectively the happiest experience possible compared to anyone else around them. They're like, wow, I am like, imagine them just like bawling and crying because they're so happy for like 24 hours a day for like 50 years of their life. Would you be like jealous of that experience?
Yeah. Yeah, I would be. Which feels like What I'm asking for is difficulty, because I'm assuming that their ugliness is what made them turn inward and to find happiness, their hardships.
Well, let's say hypothetically that wasn't the case.
Well, now they're not the happiest person in the world anymore.
Why? It just instantly removes it. Your belief about it removes it.
I guess I'm thinking that difficulty is what made them be happy. It caused them to develop in a way that I didn't have to develop.
It's a very productive perspective that you have.
Yeah. It's interesting how modern times have made comparisons so easy.
What do you mean by that?
I was thinking about, I tracked all of my snowboarding last year, every single day. And I knew how many feet of elevation I did and the top speed I did and the run I did the most. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I should do it again this year. But then this topic came to mind and I was realizing, what am I gaining from that? It feels like I'm adding comparison and it takes joy out of the moment. Yeah. Comparison, it feels like we traded away physical problems, starvation and infection, for emotional and existential problems, where I don't have to worry about safety very much. This is a really safe place to live, but I have these other issues now of trying to be happy, trying to help my kids be happy. And I guess comparison, like Strava, when you're recording your bike rides or whatever, I'm not even in the top 100. So it makes me unhappy with where I am. I'm looking at my saplingness and being like, why aren't you producing fruit yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that you gotta compare yourself to things that are like relative to you if you're making a comparison. And I think that's just like a problem we live in today's world is we literally have access to our phones in our pockets that connect us to the entire world, and we're able to just compare ourselves to people in those ways. People that are just dedicating their entire life to that and
Do you think it's ever healthy?
to make a comparison.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yeah, it's just more information. I think the difference or the thing that maybe is like what chooses if it's a good or bad thing is based off of the type of like reinforcement we give ourselves. I think you can give yourself positive reinforcement or negative reinforcement, and it's your choice from both of those. It could be like the same exact experience, and people would make a different choice from each of those. So like an example would be like, let's say you're riding like your bike, you tracked it, and you have all these comparisons to all these different people, seeing how much they're doing instead. You can be like, "Ooh, I'm doing terrible in comparison to these people," or you can have the interpretation of being like, "Wow, I'm close to this person," or "I've did better than my last one." And so you got to be like selective on what you choose to compare to you. And if you're comparing to something that's just like drastically different from you, like if a person might be drastically different from you, they might have a completely different time and schedule than you do and being able to do the dedication that led to that thing. So that's like unrealistic to compare yourself to that type of person. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. I don't know if I can help that though. Whenever I see the people that are faster than me, then I feel like I instantly feel lesser than.
What about if you compare it just to yourself?
I like that idea much better. It takes me back to that one yoga class that I liked. Where you are today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we should only compare to ourselves. Maybe we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people, because people objectively and subjectively have completely different lives. That's what's so I guess maybe that ties into what I was saying about like, you're just a human and you're going to make mistakes. You didn't really have a choice about how you got to who you were, the parents you're born underneath, the environment you're raised underneath. You don't have free will. I guess that's what I was going to tie into. It's like, you didn't really make those choices that led you in this direction. You're just making choices in the direction you've already been put. So can you be mad at yourself for being put in that direction, or should you just like mainly focus towards the choices you're making.
Yeah, I think I should just accept where I was dropped off and look around and choose the best route from there.
Going back to the sapling analogy, it fell from a seed somewhere. The wind randomly chose where it landed. Can it get mad about where it grew? I mean, that sounds like a waste of time to me.
It does sound like a waste of time. It definitely sounds like something I would do. Where, yeah, like I've been angry that my parents didn't love me in the way that I see some parents loving their kids, and I feel like I started out in a crack of a sidewalk, and saplings don't grow very well there.
Mm.
Do you think it's healthy to be angry about that?
About where you were born?
Yeah.
Or like your situation?
Yeah, the situation or the things that you missed out on, maybe that were healthy, and like, should I be angry that I didn't feel belonging?
I think it's justified 100%.
Is it helpful?
I think it's helpful because it would naturally lead you to resolve it in some way. And that maybe creates the direction that you go in your life.
Okay.
Kind of like you're saying, if you were like born ugly, dealing with that circumstance and having to deal with that naturally is going to kind of guide you to having to cope with it in some way. And it's up to you to still be able to cope with it, but it still like it helped you, I guess, choose the direction you were going to go, or I guess the direction you were born into.
I guess this makes me feel a little bit better about the ways that I'm probably fucking up my kids. They will develop more because of it.
Honestly, I think just from the fact, I mean, I'm going to assume because I know you, like if you've like apologized to your kids for doing those things,
Yeah.
just the fact that you've done that, you've taught them the life lesson that you like how to teach yourself. That I mean, you kind of had to do it to yourself. Your parents didn't like apologize to you for what you had to go through and deal with. But if you're able to overcome that and choose to like, I'm not going to do that for my kids, that means you have enough respect for yourself to do that. And your kids get to see you doing the same thing towards yourself.
I guess I'm wondering if trying to be productive is just me doing something so I don't have to regulate my emotions. If I'm productive, then I get to feel good about myself.
Yeah.
But if I wasn't productive, I would need to do something, or I would have to think something that would allow me to feel good about myself. And I don't. I think that's what I've been talking about. I don't know how to get there. Do you feel this way?
100%. It's actually something I've worked in therapy a lot, that my productivity and goal setting is actually a distraction from me having to actually sit with the emotions of how I feel about myself. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a sad reality. It doesn't mean that those, I guess, achieving those things, those goals and being productive aren't like beneficial in some way, but it's not the thing you really need.
I mean, my hands are always sweaty, but they're extra sweaty now thinking about what I'm avoiding.
Yeah, just aim like your productivity and like efficiency mind towards that, being like, oh man, I'm doing this thing. You know what? If I focus on myself and actually take care of myself like emotionally, I'm gonna like 10x everything else that I'm doing. You should. If you can trick yourself to do it, you should.
Yeah, but if I can just accept myself as I am, then I might just be a lazy fuck.
Yeah, just don't think that far ahead. Well, you might be a happy lazy fuck.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, would you rather be a happy lazy fuck or a person that just never like dies at the end of their life and is like super disappointed in like what they've achieved?
I would rather be a happy lazy fuck.
Then you better get there, man. To end this, like there's this really awesome quote by this Buddhist philosopher, Alan Watts, that I feel like has a really good quote, like specifically about like a lot of this, what we're talking about, which is life isn't about like the end destination. Instead, it's about the dance along the way. And I really, really believe that it's not about what we achieve, but it's about the things we're doing as we're going those directions. And I think the more that you can choose to be productive about things that actually make you happy, things that you actually care about, I think the more you're going to be able to enjoy the direction or time of achieving that, even if it's like not possible.
Yeah, I really like that. It reminds me of I'm aiming at big goals, right? I've been aiming at big goals my whole life. When I was a kid, people say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" I'm embarrassed to say this.
Okay, let's hear it. Ronald McDonald?
How did you know? No, okay. When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a ditch digger.
A ditch digger?
Yes. Someone came and installed some pipes or something along our driveway, and they brought this incredible machine. It was called a ditch witch, but it was massive. And I was like, that is a cool job. I want to be that. But then when I got a little bit older, I think I got scared of picking. And so I just said, I want to be a billionaire.
Wow.
And I was aiming at big goals this whole time, but like we've even talked about it in this podcast that people get there, they sell their business and they're still unfulfilled. They're still depressed. They don't know what the purpose of life is.
Yeah.
And so I was optimizing my life for the big goals. But if that's not what I'm going to care about at the end, then I'd rather optimize it for the dance.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm trying to figure out is I'm going to still have those goals out there, but that's not what I'm going to be really trying for. I want to try for the right now, for this moment.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually really happy that we're here doing this right now.
Are you?
It feels really good.
Yeah, I actually feel the same way.
We're going to look back and realize these were the golden years.
I mean, I'm so proud of the fact that we've even just put this effort in, like
Me
so
too.
far. And I think it is like less about us like achieving this podcast, but more of like, look at these amazing memories. Yeah, what we're creating, just having these conversations with each other. And if other people happen to feel that from us and like enjoy it and it brings them happiness in their life, awesome. But honestly, this is just the reason we started this, right? Is we just enjoy conversations like this with each other.
Yeah. So we don't ever need to look at the analytics again.
Yeah. And I still think you should consider like being a ditch digger. Like, I feel like there would be a lot of enjoyment in that shit.
I think it would be really fun.
Fuck being a billionaire. Be a ditch digger.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed that conversation, maybe leave a comment down below or check out our channel.